Okay, so I went to, I was born and raised in Lahore, Pakistan. I went to, in 2005, I was shipped out for university in San Francisco, where I bought my first motorcycle. It was an old 1985 Kawasaki Vulcan Cruiser. I did not enjoy that bike. I had to sell it after less than 2 months because I had no money for rent, so I sold it and paid for rent. But the motorcycle bug bit me, and I eventually got into motorcycles in 2005 and 2006. When I was in San Francisco State University, whenever I told somebody I'm from Pakistan, I'm a Muslim, I never really faced any serious racism or anything like that, but I felt a lot of people, when they found out I was a Muslim or a Pakistani, they would step back a little bit. They were a little hesitant. But at the same time, after speaking to me for a little bit, I felt I changed their perception about Pakistanis, about Muslims, and that kind of made me happy. I became friends with people from different countries all over the world, in school, in the motorcycle community, in the Bay Area, in California. It was amazing. The community over there, super close, amazing experience there. Throughout school, there was a lot of negative news coming out of Pakistan in the media. Whenever you go through open any international media, there's always like some bomb blasts going on. There was a war on terror going on in our neighborhood in Afghanistan. We weren't a part of it. We had nothing to do with it, but we became a part of it. However, there were like some of the most troubled times for that region. 2005, 2006. So I finished school in 2010, my university. Throughout, while I was in school, I felt like I was from the privileged class of Pakistan. I had the privilege of leaving the country and going to school in San Francisco. And I don't know why, but I felt the pressure that I had to do something to change, to challenge the negative narrative the media has built around us. And so this dream of doing something for Pakistan started bugging me a lot. And at the same time, I was getting really involved in the motorcycle world. So one day I opened Google Maps. I had never done a motorcycle trip before. I just opened Google Maps and I drew a line. And I thought it'll be really cool to go back home once I finish school. I go back home on a motorcycle. On the way, I meet people and let them meet a Pakistani, let them meet a Muslim, and see how that goes. I thought I would on the road I'd face some sort of resistance, but I made it a point whenever I spoke to somebody, before I told them my name, I told them I'm from Pakistan. So 10th July 2011, I started from San Francisco, and this journey was a 40,000 kilometer journey. I crossed 22 countries over 6 months. I'll tell you a little bit about this ride. When I started 18 months before the ride, I decided I'm doing this trip. I ate boiled rice and ketchup for 18 months straight to save up money for this trip. I let go of I sold everything I owned. I sold my PlayStation. I sold my clothes at a thrift store. I was sleeping in a friend's garage. It was saving money in California and the Bay Area, one of the most expensive areas. It was hard. But after 18 months of saving money, I thought I will save a ton of money, $50,000, but I only made it $11,000. And so this journey started. I had never camped before in my life. I didn't know how to camp. This was the first day, and these kids and their father, Antonio, helped me pitch my first tent. It was amazing. I sat with these kids for a few hours around a fire. they had a lot of questions about Pakistan. They had never heard about it. And I was telling them I'm going to Pakistan. This was my first night on this adventure, and I'm telling them I'm going to Pakistan, which I couldn't believe myself. I was so far away. And then Antonio and his wife were like, don't go to Pakistan, it's too dangerous. I was like, fuck her. My family's there. I was born there. Like, it's not as dangerous, But the first night there, it kind of set the tone for the entire trip. I was like, this is the agenda. And then I went through Canada, back into US to ship the bike from New York, and then I through Germany and France, and I got to ride some of the best roads in the Alps. While I was in the Alps, there's a small town called Andermatt, and Andermatt is like a motorcycle heaven in Switzerland. There's like a bunch of big passes for sport bikes. It's like some of the best roads this world has to offer. And so I was on my CBR 600 F4i, and this guy, I forget his name, but he was on a big touring bike. I was following him for like maybe 45 minutes. We were racing up and down. This is Susten Pass in Switzerland, one of the most beautiful Alps mountains in the Alps. And he saw, when he was riding behind me, he saw my license plate was from California. So he came next to me and he's like, pull over, I need to talk to you. So I pulled over. He's like, you came from California, you're crazy, you're California to Switzerland, this is unreal, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Pakistan. He's like, okay, pull over. We took our helmets off, and he's like, you couldn't find a better bike than this to go to Pakistan. And I was like, this is the only thing I have, and I'm really enjoying it. And so he's like, okay, I want to show you, bring out your GPS, and I will show you some nice roads. And I was like, I don't have a GPS. He's like, okay, bring out some paper maps. I will mark for you where to go, and you'll see the best roads. And I was like, I don't have any paper maps. So this journey started. I actually love getting lost anywhere I go. Because this trip was about Pakistan and not about me or where I'm going. It was like meeting random strangers on the road and I wanted them to guide me what direction I'm going. So it was really fun. When I was in Vancouver, I was lost in downtown Vancouver. Some random guy stopped me and he said, it seems like you're lost. Where are you trying to go? I was like, I'm trying to go to Pakistan. I got a free meal out of that. He took me out for lunch. And then I was in Berlin. These random people took me to their house in Berlin. I was just standing on the side of the road trying to get some internet from a nearby cafe or something. And Lisa, the girl on the right, she was like, where are you going? I was like, I'm not lost, but I'm trying to look for a cheap place to stay. And she's like, okay, let's go home. And that was her boyfriend and her friend. I stayed with them for 5 days. They showed me Berlin. And then Lisa, a few years later, visited me in Pakistan. I showed her Pakistan for a few weeks. It was amazing. So it was like first-hand introducing Pakistan to the world. It was life-changing for me. I met this random guy in Bern. He saw my bike and he's like, saw the California license plate and a Pakistan flag in my jacket. And then he was like, I have a motorcycle, I live a minute away. He ran, he got his KTM 990 and took me on a couple of hour ride in his hometown. He's like, you have to see this, these nice roads. I met this guy in Martini. It was too cold, I couldn't find a place to sleep. I put my helmet on and I was trying to sleep on the bike for a few hours when he showed up, and he's like, why are you sleeping on the bike? I was like, your city sucks, it's too expensive. The cheapest room I could find was $200. He's like, yeah, this Martini is expensive, and there was some conference going on. So he took me home. He had 2 daughters. He took one daughter from her room, threw it in the other room, gave me her room, made me food. It was amazing. I chilled with their family the entire night. His name is Nicholas. This is the next morning when he was going to work. I was packing my bike. So I met these random people on the side of the road who took me home. It was pretty life-changing. And then I had my first crash.
Ouch.
The roads were wet. My rear tire hit the paint line, and I slipped, and I got stuck under the guardrail. Whenever I'm stuck, I like taking pictures. So when the police came, I was like, before you cut the guardrail and take me out, yeah, you gotta take a picture. Yeah. And then I met my second crash, which was in Romania. I went about head-on at over 200 kilometers an hour. When the police came, the ambulance people came. They wanted to pick me up. I was like, first take a picture. This was right at the border of Hungary and Romania. This small city called Arad. Some pictures from the crash. I was in the ambulance over here. I promise you, I wasn't crying because I was hurt. I was crying because it felt like the trip is over. These were my roommates in the hospital. I was in the hospital for about a month and a half. I broke my AC joint in my shoulder. I broke my 5 ribs in my back. I broke both my wrists. But these guys were amazing. The guy who crashed into me, he was overtaking on a double white line you weren't supposed to overtake, and I just went head on. He came every day to the hospital. He held my hand for hours and kept crying. We couldn't speak to each other. I didn't speak the local language. He couldn't speak English. I didn't understand what he was saying, but he was very, very apologetic. He would bring me food every day, and the first day when he brought food, he put it on the side table, and the smell was just off, and I knew I couldn't eat it. It was pork or something. I told him every day, bring chicken, don't bring pork, I can't eat it. But both Nico and Barbu, my roommates in the hospital, they loved it. As soon as Barbu, the guy who crashed into me, he would leave, these guys would come, take the food and enjoy it. I made really good friends with these guys. So this was the motorcycle. It was completely total. If any one of you have ever ridden a motorcycle, you know what part of the body did this. After Romania, after a month and a half there, I 2nd December, I fixed the bike. There were too many motorcycle parts, too many parts needed to bring the bike back to life. This was an old 2002 model CBR 600 F4i. Finding parts for this is nearly impossible to find new parts for this. So I was thinking I need to buy a new motorcycle, but I had absolutely no money. When I crashed the first 10 days, I didn't tell anyone I had crashed. I didn't tell my parents. My father would call me every day, and I would just look up Google and the next town, and I'm in the hospital in Romania, but on the phone he thinks I'm in Istanbul, and he's like, go to Topkapi Palace, go to and I'm like, yeah, I'll go tomorrow. I'll go. So on the 9th, 10th day, he got really mad. He's like, whatever I tell you, you do that. You don't listen to me. Why don't you go to the Topkapi Palace and you see the? And then I was like, okay, can you come on Skype or on a video chat and let me tell you what's going on. And so I'm like dressed in the hospital clothes, and my mom and dad are sitting in front of the video, and I tell them, I was like, okay, I crashed 10 days ago, everything is okay, I'm alive, don't stress out. My mom just leaves, and my dad, the first thing he asked is the bike okay? Yeah. And I was like, the bike is not okay, it's total. He's like I want to say it in Urdu, then I'll translate in English. He's like, पठान दा पुत्र है बकरी ना हो जाए हुन मोटरसाइकिल ते ही आना है. So he's like, you're representing, my last name is Khan, so he's like, you're representing you're representing a clan, don't pussy out. You gotta come back on a motorcycle, fix your bones, and you gotta come back on a motorcycle. And so initially I said I was scared, or I knew that some resistance when I'm on the road and I tell people I'm from Pakistan, I'll have to face some of that. I was proven wrong in the most beautiful way. When in the hospital, some random lady from California emailed me saying, I've been following you and I just found out that you had a crash. Can you tell me what's the situation with the motorcycle? And so I told her, I was like, the motorcycle is gone. And it's completely total. The front end was broken. The front wheel was broken in 3 pieces. You saw the tank. So I was like, I think I'm gonna have to get rid of this bike and maybe get something else. She's like, we in California, we're following your trip and we want to help. And so, long story short, random strangers from 5 different countries started sending motorcycle parts to me.
Wow.
I built the entire bike up, the front brake system, master cylinder with the cables, the front entire braking system came from Poland. The exhaust manifold came from Bulgaria. The radiator was donated by the Motorcycle Association of Romania. 2 big boxes of parts with the fuel tank, with handlebar, the new forks, everything came from California. And each part had like a note on it. People had taken parts off their motorcycles to see me finish the ride. It was incredible. And these were people I didn't know, I had never spoken to, and it was amazing. So 2nd December I left Romania. The plan for this trip was to be on the road for 3 months. I was on the road for 6 months. I didn't plan to be riding in the winter. I still don't have any heating gear, but at the time I didn't even know there was heated gear and stuff. So this was Erzurum area in Turkey. Every day I would wrap a toilet paper roll on each foot and up till my knees, then put some plastic bag and newspaper and then the shoe. It was negative 23 degrees for 6 days in the Erzurum area. On sport bike tires on black ice, it's not a fun ride. And then I finally made it home when I entered Pakistan. It was amazing, life-changing in many ways. This trip was amazing. However, as I said, the travel bug, I had been bitten, and so, but completely out of money, no job for the last 6 months on the road. When I was in Pakistan, I had money for a Vespa scooter. So from Lahore, I bought a Vespa scooter, painted it yellow, and went up north and into the mountains in 2000. So 31st December 2011, I made it to Pakistan, and then 4 or 5 months later, I went to on this scooter on a month and a half long trip up into the mountains. The 2012 Shandur Polo Festival I attended on this. This picture was taken right before that. I was born and raised in Lahore, but I had never been up into the mountains, and no one in my family had ever been up in the mountains. No one in the family rides a motorcycle either. I truly didn't know what to expect of Pakistan, and that literally that month and a half on a scooter in Pakistan, in the northern Pakistan, kind of changed my direction in life completely. I fell in love with the people, some of the most hospitable people in the world you will find in Pakistan. A lot of people say I'm too fair for Pakistan, and if I shave, everybody thinks I'm a foreigner. So if you're a foreigner, you don't have to pay for a bed, you don't have to pay for food. You just talk in English, and people think you're the guest. So this entire trip, locals took me home. They gave me food. They put petrol in my scooter every day. I would find somebody. This kind of changed the way I wasn't planning to, but that trip, that Vespa scooter trip, made me realize that this is what I want to do. I want to show people Pakistan. I want to bring people to Pakistan. And so in later that year, 2012, my first group of foreigners from the US came to Pakistan, and I took them for 21 days, all through Islamabad to Chitral, Gilgit-Hunza China border, through Skardu. We came down to back to Islamabad. These guys fell in love with Pakistan. When they went back, there were more people who wanted to come. And then since 2012, now it's been 11 years, 12 years or something. We've been doing motorcycle tours in Pakistan. Still to this day, everybody who shows interest, who wants to come to Pakistan, the first initial question or thought is, it's too dangerous, is it safe, can we come? And I promise you, in the last 11 years, each rider who's been to Pakistan, the last couple of days they're crying, because when they tell their friends, their family about Pakistan, going to Pakistan on a motorcycle ride, they all are like, don't go there, you'll get beheaded, you'll get do this. And once they come to Pakistan, they actually get to experience love from the locals. And there was this guy Tom, on the last day he kept crying, and I was like, please stop crying, like come on, like he has a longer hair and a bigger beard than Wissam. I was like, it doesn't look nice, you keep crying. He's like, but all my life growing up, I was trained to be scared or not like people of this part of the world. But I was proven wrong, and like these people are so amazing. And so every year we do some motorcycle trips. I felt like because I went to school in California, and the motorcycle community in California I'm very connected to. Most of my tours are from the US. However, I felt like guys were more scared of Pakistan than women. And so six years ago, I started a motorcycle trip called Chikistan, where women from different countries come to Pakistan, and each year there are more women who come to Pakistan than men on my tours. This shows women are way smarter, stronger than us guys. There's some of the groups over the years.
Brilliant.
This is one of my favorite groups tours. There was this guy Tom who from Santa Cruz. He emailed me saying, I really want to come to Pakistan, but I don't like motorcycles. I don't ride motorcycles. I only ride Vespa scooters. If you can arrange some Vespa scooters, I'll arrange some Vespa riders. So I had like a group of Vespa lovers from the US and South Africa. I built like 4 or 5 Vespa scooters, and I took them. So I really don't care if you want to go on a Vespa, motorcycle, tuk-tuk, on foot, go on a trek, go on a 4x4 car, anything it is. I feel like my mission in life is to show people a side of Pakistan that they don't get to see. And over the years, ADA now does motorcycle trips, the main thing, but we do trekking, cycling, 4x4 tours, and a wellness retreat, where we designed a wellness retreat for University of Edinburgh this year. It's happening in April, maybe sometime over there. Super excited about that.
It's a Qigong and yoga retreat.
Yeah. And then when I was on my travels in San Francisco to Lahore trip, I met this lady, Emily Chappell. She was on a 4-year solo bicycle ride around the world. I met her, bumped into her in Ankara. She's British, lives in London. She's a legend. She's gotten many awards. She's written books. She's an old friend. When she came to Pakistan, she stayed at my house for like a couple of months, and then she went up into China, and then Russia, Mongolia, all the way Bering Straits, all the way to Alaska, and then to New York, and then to Argentina. So she's coming to Pakistan, and we're doing a bicycle trip from Islamabad to Punjrapa Karakoram Highway bicycle
China
ride.
border.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
China
amazing. And last year we introduced two more countries. I took a group to Tanzania for a motorcycle trip. The year before, I went exploring myself. I did Kenya and Uganda for like a month. I did a little over 5,000-6,000 kilometers. I fell in love with East Africa. I just feel like when you're on a motorcycle and you see this wildlife around you, it changes you. I don't know. I've never seen animals, elephants up close, and East Africa. I have a special place for East Africa in my heart, and so I have a lot of repeat customers. Anybody who comes to Pakistan once on my tours, they come the next year as well. So that group was like, choose a country and take us there. So this November, there were 12 Americans who have ridden Pakistan with me twice or thrice, and we all went to Tanzania. It was amazing. And then end of this month, March, I'm taking a group to Vietnam. I love Vietnam. My wife is from Vietnam, and I've been exploring Vietnam since 2013. We have 3 destinations for adventure now.
Woohoo!
Okay. AD also cares about the communities we go through. We travel to the locals. There's my childhood friend Jimmy, who's a singer-songwriter for the last 15-18 years. That's all he knows how to do. But I got him into motorcycles a couple of years ago, and he's addicted to the road now.
2 wheels. As long as I can get my feet on the ground, I'm okay. I'm not a motor geek like you guys, most of you. I just need an engine, and my feet can touch the ground. I'll keep riding. That's that's how it is.
Yeah, and then Jimmy is a partner at ADA, and what we do together is help the communities up in the mountains that we visit.
So a lot of the places that we do travel to are remote villages, and they're pretty marginalized. There are very limited economic opportunities over there for people. So it really adds value to our adventures when we add a purpose to the ride as well. So we visit these places and we try to contribute to either some small community business, or we work with schools on educational programs and stuff. So I've spent like the past 3 years, I've spent a lot of time living up there in the north, and I've worked with schools, and I've worked with carpenters over there just to integrate myself into the community and trying to understand what their needs are. And with every adventure that we do, we try to incorporate a purpose to it. So we will either financially support a particular initiative in any of the villages. It could be a girls' hostel. It could be the Sikkim furniture factory, where this year hopefully we're going to be buying them a woodcutter, a machine, which is it's a pretty expensive machine.
Every year, this Sikkim factory is run by women. It's an all-women furniture factory, wood factory, and every year ADA buys them a machine. For the last 6-7 years, we buy them a machine, whatever they want, every year. Last year we upgraded their that air pressure thing. They had a small one, we got a new one. This year they want like a punching air press.
Thank you.
This year they want a wood puncture that you can connect 2 pieces of wood in a more efficient way. Sikkim is one of my favorite.
And it's an all women run rural factory it's just women, run by women, and they also train women, younger women, to kind of become a part of it. So it's something that a lot of our guests also really like to visit. And it's a beautiful facility to visit as well.
And another cool thing about Sikkim is I have a friend who is in the wood furniture business since before Pakistan's existence. Mokum Furnitures, Numan. With Mokum and Shikam, we did a partnership. Shikam, every summer, every winter, they send some of their women to Lahore. We arrange a place for them to stay and visit the factory and learn new techniques and improve their skills. We've been doing that for a few years. The second thing is a weaving center. It's an all women weaving center in Upper Hunza. I take all my groups here. Anyone in my group wants to shop, I make them wait till we get to Korga weaving center. The women are amazing, hardworking.
I mean, this is primarily, I'd say, amazing gift shop, especially for people traveling, because they make beautiful traditional rugs and handmade rugs, and they use very primitive ways of making them. And every year, since I've been traveling with Moin, every year a group that comes, we have to make sure that we are the top sellers buyers for that group every year. So that's how they're also waiting for us to come every year.
Every year. Last year we broke their biggest sale in a day. We broke it by like $5,000. We spent. I took, and women are amazing. I take 12 women there. They spend $7,000-8,000 there. It is amazing. And these guys all year round, they're like, we only wait for your tours to come. We don't care if anybody comes. Music school.
So I've been because I've been living up there. I've been doing a lot of music curation. We've been curating music festivals over there as well. So Leif Larsen, the music center in Altit Fort, is endorsed by the Norwegian embassy, and they're basically, the Leif Larsen school is teaching traditional music over there. So their regional music is what they're working on. When I was living there, I happened to make a mountain band per se. So I had like a rabab player, the buka player. You know, these are all traditional instruments of that region. Even though I'm not from there and I write pop tunes, but it was my mountain set, you can call it. So a lot of the students were a part of my band. We also, the festivals that we did, we had these students come and perform there. So activities like these, the point of this all is that we're very, very in the community that we're actually traveling to, and we're trying to put ourselves and mark our feet deep down into it so that we can understand the needs of those communities and build whatever we can in our capacity. This Nasir Khusro school is a school that I also worked in for about a month. I did a music exchange program over there, and we did a language project. So one of the languages of the region is called Wakhi, and it's an endangered language. We wanted to do a language project with the help of the kids. We discussed and finalized a poet's song that everybody loved because we wanted to highlight the language. I got the kids to be involved in the recording procedure of it, and we recorded the song. We rehearsed the song for a couple of days, couple of weeks. We recorded it, went through the recording procedure, then we shot a music video. Taking them through the media process was my contribution to it. Learning to live like those guys do in the most simplest and the most beautiful way was what they were offering to me. And I'll play the project once the presentation is done. And the exchange program that we did with the help of our tours last year in 2022, we were able to procure enough instruments to equip this school. Now imagine this is a very remote school in a very, very remote village. We've equipped this school with a lot of music instruments. So we've got electric instruments as well as acoustic instruments, and we've equipped the school with it so that kids can fiddle with it. And the exchange program is essentially people like yourselves or musicians and artists or poets who can actually go from the cities within our own country and do 2-week workshops over there for these children so that they can develop their skills. And so this was one of our most recent projects. Very proud to be featured. I am very proud that ADA was recently featured on AMA.
Yeah, Pakistan was featured on the AMA magazine in 2023 on the cover. This was like a big. What we do is for Pakistan, and this was like a big deal for us. We got really excited, and we all, both of us thought all of you guys should know this.
Yeah.
Some more press stuff over the years. I think I wanna really quickly some pictures. All these pictures are not edited from a
They're
phone.
just phone photographs, yeah.
But when you're traveling in Pakistan, you don't need a fancy camera. You don't need any editing. Pakistan is just beautiful like that.
This is a beautiful Aqaba lake. The famous Karakoram highway. This can be you at some point. Just saying.
Yeah.
This is, by the way, if I may say, if you guys are familiar with Kamran on bike, that's actually Kamran on bike on a cycling trip.
He's a legendary Pakistani bicyclist who's
Currently in Africa.
He's been on the road for like 8 years or something. He's done Argentina, Ushuaia to Alaska on a bicycle. He's done Germany to Pakistan on a bicycle. Now he's in Africa.
He recently passed through the UAE and Saudi as well.
You get to see some of the biggest mountains this world has to offer from your motorcycle seat in Pakistan.
Some of this is a K2 trek. That's boy trying to summit the Moses Peak.
Yeah, I made it.
Yeah, you made it. We have a picture of you summiting it as well. That's Josar Lake in Deosai Plains.
Thank you guys.
No, but wait.